Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's chat. It is July, and I'd like to send a special welcome to all my VA insiders out there. This month's group coaching is a little bit different because I'm excited to say we have a lot more members in the group. So, every once in a while, look out for an email from me where I will hop on YouTube and do these live sessions for you guys. Typically, how it will run is I will share a link with you where you can come and join me in the YouTube studio just prior to hopping on the live. I will have a short presentation for you guys, and then if there are any viewers here joining me in the moment, I always open up the session to questions about your business and the things that you're dealing with the most. If you're watching this on a replay, don't worry. I will always repost these to the VA Insiders group so that you can watch at a later time. And definitely send me your questions in the VA Insiders on the description below this particular section. Anything you post, I see, and I will always answer you as soon as I possibly can. So without further ado, let's get started. This month, I wanted to talk about some of the more common challenges that virtual assistants face. And the challenges we're going to cover are they don't discriminate between your experience. They can happen to both new and established virtual assistants alike. So the first thing I wanted to start talking about is one of the larger issues that everyone across the board deals with, including myself, by the way. Even after 12 years, I find it hard to stay motivated 100% of the time. So motivation is a big one for everybody across the board. It is very hard, especially when you're newly established or trying to establish your business. It can be very hard for you to find the motivation to constantly be doing everything you have to do for your business, like finding new clients all the time, or establishing good relationships with your current clients, or making sure that your billing and invoices are up to date, and marketing, and the list goes on, because we as business owners wear many hats. So here are some of my suggestions for you to help stay motivated during challenging times. The first one I always like to talk about is setting goals. Now, goal setting is great, and I could have a whole talk about goal setting. The thing about goal setting is that you don't want to make it so big. Like, you don't want this huge goal that's so big that you actually can't achieve it because you're overwhelmed by your own goals. So what I like to do when I say set clear goals to help you stay motivated in your business is to set clear, achievable short-term goals. And I'll give you an example. A good, clear, achievable short-term goal would be something like, if you're a new VA, you could say something like, I will find one client in the next 2 months, and I will give myself 15 to 30 minutes a day every morning to find those clients. So you have a clear goal. It's set by a time-bound increment. It's 2 months. It's an achievable goal. It's just one client. You haven't said, I need 10 clients in the next 2 months. So something like that is, it's small enough, it's achievable enough, it's bite-sized enough that you can actually break it down into steps. And having a goal like that is a lot more manageable and motivating than having a goal like, in the next 3 months, I'm going to have 15 clients and make $50,000. Like something like that. It's way too large. It's hard to break it down into small steps. And if you don't hit that arbitrary goal that you're setting for yourself, it can feel demotivating because you'll be like, I'm a failure. I haven't met my goals at all. So we're going for short, achievable goals. The second thing I want you to do is celebrate all your wins, all of them. Now, a lot of people talk about celebrating the small wins, and small wins are great too. Small wins can be things like you've landed a new client, or you've completed a really challenging task, or maybe even you received great feedback from a client. Those are all wins that you can celebrate. And the reason it's so helpful to actually celebrate those wins is because it can help you stay motivated, and it's a boost to your confidence. Another example, something that I do for my own business, is anytime a client gives me good feedback or accolades, I don't care if it's a quick text message like, thanks so much, you're the best, or an email praising the way I handled a situation, I save those snippets in a folder that I call accolades. Anytime I'm feeling unmotivated or I'm feeling a little unsure about some of the work I'm doing, or even if I have a moment where I'm doubting that my clients feel like I'm giving them my best, I go through that folder and I look through all of the good positive feedback that I'm getting from people. And it's a nice reminder to myself that I do know what I'm doing, that I am taking care of my client base, and that I'm doing a good job. A third point that I really want you guys to focus on is setting a daily routine for yourselves. Creating routines are especially important for us as remote workers, because if you don't have a clear routine in your day, you can feel lost. It is, and I say this from personal experience, even after a decade of this work, if I don't have a routine in my day, there are days that I'll get up and drink coffee for 2 hours and then I'll sit at my laptop. And if I don't have a lot of client work coming in on that particular day, I still find myself kind of thinking, what should I work on? And then I'm so overwhelmed because I think, well, I could work on social media, or I could work on my outreach, or I could redo my website. And all of a sudden, I find myself doing a lot of different things and not really getting any meaningful work done. So, setting a routine for yourself, it's really just a way to structure your day, and it helps you stay disciplined and focused on your business and on your tasks. And these things can be motivating as well, because Lord knows, sitting on your couch for 2 hours, whittling your thumbs and thinking, what should I work on right now, can feel demotivating. It can feel like you're spinning your wheels and you're sitting at your laptop, giving a lot of effort, but not actually getting work done. And that is what we want to avoid. So if you don't already have a daily routine, I recommend that you start trying out a routine now. And that could be as simple as you get up, you have breakfast, you go for a walk, you dedicate the first 2 hours of your morning to checking client emails, you make a lunch for yourself, you go do something with your dog, and then in the afternoon, you have dedicated time in your calendar again to do more tasks or to do social media management. The next thing I want you guys to do is treat yourself. And if you're fans of Parks and Rec like I am, you'll know that meme, treat yourself. I really truly believe in this reward system, and a treat can be as something like going on a walk, or treating yourself to a 20-minute break, or treating yourself to something relaxing, an afternoon bath. It can be anything you want, but we are business owners, and part of that is taking care of ourselves as well. And it can be hard to stay motivated when you're feeling burned out or absolutely distraught about your business. So this is somewhat related to the celebrate all wins, but rewarding yourself can have some meaningful impact on your psychological state as a business owner. So don't be afraid to winnow it, to sneak in some of those rewards during the day. A lot of my rewards are food related. I also like having a gym reward, but my favorite reward of all is rewarding myself after I've done a really good job at work. I've put in a ton of work for the day. I love to treat myself for a long sunset walk. So it could be anything you want. That is totally up to you. Last tip for you guys to help stay motivated is really focus on your why. A lot of different business books will talk about things like your North Star or finding your passion. But focusing on your why is a really good way to stay grounded. When you are running a virtual assistant business, it is important that you have a reason for why you're doing this. And your reasons can be anything at all. Your reason is your reason alone, and it's a good reason. I don't care if your reason for running this business is to make a ton of money. I don't care if it's to work just a couple hours a day. I don't care if it's so that you can spend more time with your kids. I don't care if it's so that you can travel more. Whatever your why is, you have to be really focused on that, because when things get hard, focusing on the why are you starting this business in the first place, can really help you find that passion or reignite your purpose. And it fuels your motivation and your commitment to the business. The second thing I want to talk about, second most common challenges for sure, is finding clients. So if you are a new virtual assistant and you're like, I've been doing this for months, I'm spinning my wheels, I'm not finding any clients to connect with, there's a cold, hard truth that I want to ask you right now. And that is, how hard are you pounding the pavement? Are you taking a more passive role in finding clients, where you think, well, I have a website and I have a LinkedIn and clients are going to come to me? Or you take a more active role where you are looking through social media, you're talking to people in your network, you're going to either virtual or in-person meetups. Are you hustling? And even though I actually hate that word, but are you taking a more active role in client acquisition or taking more passive role? So a lot of people think when they're new that they think, they build a website or they build a LinkedIn profile, and they think, well, clients will just come to me, and it's going to be easy. It's going to be like fishing. Well, guess what? Fish don't bite unless you put bait on the hook. So you really need to take a more active role where you're actively engaging with people on LinkedIn, where you're using the search bar to type in key phrases like I am searching for a virtual assistant. But more so than that, there's some other steps that you can take even before you get to the social aspect of it. I want to reiterate that your family and your friends are often your first way to find that first client. And it's because your family and friends want to see you succeed. They're often your biggest cheerleaders. And when you share your details about your VA business with them, they are often the people who are going to amplify your message for you because they love you and they want to support you. Now, I'm not saying I want you to pitch your great Aunt Margaret your business. She might not be your best client, but by informing your family and your friends about the types of services you offer, your hours of operation, even your rates, talking about the value that you bring to your clients, or even passions, niches that you're excited about. These things are the things that your friends and family will remember. And the next time they meet someone in their network, they'll be like, guess what? My niece is a virtual assistant. Let me connect you. My granddaughter is doing this as a business. Let me connect you to. So this kind of referral network is usually the way that a lot of brand new, totally green VAs find their first client. The second and related thing I want you to do is share your news about your business with your network. And your network differs a little bit from friends and family. I'm talking about your professional network. So this could be you sharing with old colleagues that you've worked with in the past, or maybe even current coworkers where you mentioned, hey, I'm doing virtual assistants on the side. These are my services, and I'm really excited to start working with these types of clients in this industry. And again, having that network to amplify your business is always going to be great because referrals and word of mouth are a great way to find clients as a freelance virtual assistant. But here's where we shift into the more active role. Where do your clients hang out? This is a question that I really like to ask new virtual assistants. And if I asked you right now, do you have an ideal client in mind? As in, do you have an ideal customer that you think you would like to work with someday? If you do have somebody in mind, I'm just going to come up with a random example. Let's say you are focused in the health and wellness industry, and you want to do social media marketing. If I asked you, where does your ideal client hang out? And you were like, I have no clue. Then things need to change. We need to do a little research. Where do you think health and wellness experts are spending their time online and energy? They're probably on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, visual things where they can do videos or get their visual message across. And that's going to be a lot different than if I said, who's your ideal client? And you said it's a CEO of a tech firm. The CEO of a tech firm probably doesn't have time to be on TikTok 24/7, but they will be on LinkedIn, or they might be on Twitter, which I guess is now called X. So you have to really get a better sense for where your clients are hanging out. Because if you're trying to reach that CEO, but you're spending all your marketing efforts on Instagram, posting beautiful photos, well, that CEO is never going to see it. So it doesn't really matter that you're posting those things. And even though it might take you a ton of time, you're not making the best use of your time and efforts because you're not where your ideal clients are hanging out. Another very important component of finding clients is that it's always helpful to get them off of the online sphere. So whether you're connecting with potential clients on social media sites, through email, through text messages, I really encourage you to get off of the remote world and onto either a phone call or a video call. And the reason that this is so important is because a lot of your personality, and personality can totally get you hired. It can get you new clients because people hire people that they like. The personality is hard to convey through DMs on LinkedIn. So if you really want to give clients a better sense of who you are, your personality, how you like to run your business, how you can help your clients, and then vice versa. Getting on the phone will help you better get a better sense for, is this a client that you like? Could you see yourself working with this person? Do you like their communication style? Do you guys get along? Is small talk easy for you two? All these things are easy to assess on a phone call. And if you get off the phone call and you're thinking, that went really well, I really like this person, I'm really jazzed to potentially work with them, well, you're already ahead of the game. Because far too many virtual assistants think, again, that client acquisition, they think, is a more passive endeavor. And so a lot of people will send blanket messages out to potential clients on social media, and they'll be like, I'm a VA, hire me. That's a whole different experience for a client versus a virtual assistant who's like, you know what, I'm a VA, I can help you with these services. Let's get on a phone call next Wednesday and let's talk. I'd love to know more about you and tell you more about my business. That's a game changer because you're taking a more active role. And then lastly, instead of focusing solely on the what you do, those are your services, it's really important to start thinking about your business in terms of how you help clients. So it's a little bit different in the terms of your messaging and how you talk to potential clients on the phone. Those two types of conversations are very different. When you're getting on the phone with a client, if you have services, which is the what of your business, if you have those memorized in a way that you're like, I do A, B, C, D, and E, do you want to hire me? That's a really different phone call than, hey, potential client, tell me more about your business. And when they start telling you, like, you know, I'm a busy CEO, I don't have time to set meetings, I constantly mess up calendar invitations and I'm missing meetings, you can come in with the how you run your business, aka how you can help them as a VA. So if a CEO says, I'm constantly messing up calendar invitations and I'm missing meetings, you can come in and be like, you know what, it's really common. I hear that a lot with clients of mine who are equally as busy. What I do is come in and make sure I'm managing that calendar component for you. I'll send you reminders so that you never have to worry about looking at your calendar or missing meetings ever again. Like, that just feels a lot more relaxing to a client than you being like, I will manage your calendar, I will book flights for you, and I will do XYZ for $40 an hour. So the how and the why. The how is usually more emotional, and that's the thing that makes you more of an active participant when it comes to acquiring clients. Oh, my slides. Stop working. Okay. So if you are, on the flip side, somebody who is doing so well that you're now managing multiple clients for your business, this is another common challenge. So once you've moved past the stage of you're new, you're demotivated, you're not finding any clients, and all of a sudden you're finding so many clients, it is pouring, it is raining clients, and all of a sudden you have multiple people to manage. This comes with its own unique set of challenges. When you are managing multiple clients, it can be harder to figure out what to do when, how to know whose clients' tasks to tackle first. It can be even challenging to have a life of your own. So the first thing I recommend doing is setting boundaries that are clear and clearly communicated to your clients. Boundaries include things like the hours of when you do and do not work. So that can be something like, if you're let's say you want to work the same similar hours as your clients, you can say, I'm available from 9 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. When you email me during my working hours, I will get back to you in a timely manner. Or conversely, if you're a virtual assistant working on async hours, or you're living in a different country from your clients, you can say to them, I am online from 6 p.m. to midnight, my time zone. Or you can say, I'm only online from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in my time zone, which is 12 hours ahead of you. Whatever it is, you just have to communicate your boundaries to your clients. I think you'll often find that clients are fine with the hours that you set. It just needs to be clearly communicated first and foremost. The second thing you need to do is figure out really how to prioritize your clients' tasks. And I have every faith in you that you will come up with a system that works best for you. I'll give you some insights about the system that works best for me. A lot of my clients are corporate travelers, and I find that travel moves quickly and travel changes quickly. And so whenever I have multiple clients, if I'm working on, let's just say, client X's details, and a different client sends me the need for booking a flight, booking hotels, booking car services, etc., I will drop whatever I'm doing and I will focus on travel. And that's because flights change fast, prices change fast. I find that if I'm waiting too long to book somebody's travel, I might find more expensive airfares for them. And it can be a little complicated, especially if you're working with a client who's on a tight budget. So I like to do travel first. And that's just because I came up with this priority system myself. But you will get a better sense as you're working with your clients for different ways to create your own priority systems. Here are some different ways you can prioritize different clients. Something that you might want to consider doing is applying what I like to call the 80-20 principle. I'm realizing I just said what I like to call it. It's actually called the 80-20 principle. I did not make it up. So the 80-20 principle basically says that 80% of your income probably comes from 20% of your clients, and or 80% of your work also might come from 20% of your clients. The theory is that you might have one client in your group of clients who is either your highest paying or your highest demanding. And I say, always take care of your highest paying clients first. That is Business 101. If you have 5 clients in your roster and one of those clients pays you the majority of your income in the month, you probably want to cater to that person and their tasks first. I'm not saying your other clients are not as important. They absolutely are. But when you have a client that's paying for most of your income, you want to cater to them to ensure that they're happy, that their needs are being met, and that you're being the best virtual assistant you possibly can be, because repeat customers makes this business, and repeat income is one of the best ways to grow your business and have some stability in your life. So think about different ways that you can start prioritizing your own clients within your own roster. Another note I want to bring up is that you should absolutely use your own project management tools and system. So project management tools, it sounds complicated. There are lots of different tools that you can use. There's Trello, Asana, Notion, Airtable. These are all free, totally free systems that you can use to manage tasks. And I pull up this window to show you that I like to use this free tool called Aura PM for literally no reason whatsoever, besides it was something that I picked up randomly a couple years ago and it just clicked. So based on your personality, your vibe, how you like to use things, you will find your own system that works well for you. And I just wanted to show you how achingly simple my task management system is. This is my very real system. You'll see over here that I have on the left side, I've got tabs for different things in my own life, but I have a tab for client tasks. And then all I do is keep a series of 3. I keep to do, in progress, and done, so that I can just simply move tasks out of the to do into the done column when I'm finished with it. I add labels for clients, if I need to distinguish which client has requested something. It's a very simple system and it works well for me. This system might not work well for you. Maybe you're more of a pen and paper type of person, and that's totally fine. If you're using a system that works for you and that you're able to maintain, then that is a good system for you. Another thing I want you to do when it comes to managing multiple clients is make sure that you're communicating regularly. And I cannot reiterate this enough. One of the most frequent reasons that virtual assistants either get dropped or have problems with clients is because they are not communicating enough. Over communication is one of the most important things that we can do for our business. That's because as fully remote people, our clients don't have the luxury of looking out their office window and seeing you diligently typing away on your laptop. When clients send you a task, more often than not, they're like, did they get it? My VA hasn't answered in 5 hours. Are they working today? Like, it's crazy. I have had clients who have had other VAs in the past. And if I ask them what didn't work with your previous VA, one of their answers is usually because I didn't know if they were ever working on my stuff or not. So this says to me that clients need communication and clear communication. So even if you are working on 5 different clients' tasks at the same time and you don't have time to work on something new that just hit your inbox, don't ignore that client request. Instead, respond to them in a timely manner. I like to try to respond to all my emails within a 2-hour window. So even though I'm not logged into my email account all the time, I check it pretty frequently. Every few hours, at least, I'm glancing at my inboxes. And if a new task comes in within that time, I respond to my clients. If I cannot work on that task right then and there in that moment, maybe I'm super busy, maybe I'm about to head to a doctor's appointment, I'll at least respond to them and say, received, I will start working on this tomorrow morning, or received, I will get this to you by Friday. Of course, it's helpful if clients give you deadlines, but if they don't, you can absolutely either ask them, when do you need this task by, or you can dictate it like, I'm going to get to this first thing tomorrow morning. Thanks so much. It's that kind of peace of mind that really separates the good VAs from the great VAs. So that is something to keep in mind. And last but not least, for managing multiple clients is to set deadlines in your own calendar. Nobody is managing you. You are your own manager. So when you're running a business, if you have multiple tasks coming in and you're feeling overwhelmed, the first thing I recommend is that you start putting deadlines for different client tasks into your calendar so that you'll see it helps you plan out your day. It helps you prioritize. I'll give you another example. Again, let's say you have 5 clients. All 5 of them need something today. You're feeling very stressed about it. What you can do is start putting time blocks in your calendar. And it might help you reverse engineer how long certain tasks will take you. So somebody might send you a travel task. You might want to put an hour to 2-hour block in your calendar to work on that dedicated task. Another client might send you a task to go through old receipts. Maybe they don't have that many. In that case, you can only put 30-minute blocks on your calendar. But putting multiple deadlines in your calendar is going to help you plan out your day and maintain some sort of prioritization system without feeling overwhelmed. Speaking of which, tight deadlines. There will be times that all of your clients will need something all at once and or they give you a very tight deadline to adhere to. Now, usually clients are pretty easy breezy about when things are due, but it really depends on who you're servicing and what types of tasks they need. So if you find yourself working with a client who constantly has tight turnarounds or needs things returned to them quickly and in the moment, and that does happen, you're really going to need to learn different time management techniques. One of my favorite techniques, as we just discussed, is putting things in your calendar because, again, it helps you prioritize tasks and it helps you manage your own time throughout the day. But one of the second things I like to do for myself is a time management technique called the Pomodoro technique. This is essentially where you set a timer for 20 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break. I find that working in short but dedicated deep work sprints of time works really well for me. If I give myself a limited parameter, for example, I'm going to tell myself I have 2 hours to work on this client's task. I will, if I only limit myself to those 2 hours, I will get it done no matter what. But if I tell myself I have all day to get to this client's task, they don't need this turned around until the end of day, I've got all day to do it. Well, guess what? I'm either going to spend 8 hours on that task or I'm not actually going to do it until the very last minute. So I like to, again, work with these short sprints. I like to really shorten my time, give myself parameters, which helps me prioritize tasks and my own workload and energy. But one of my favorite reasons why I like to give myself shortened windows to work on things is because deep work is probably one of the best things you can do for yourself as a functioning person, but especially as a business owner. So deep work is essentially getting rid of all your distractions. Deep work is giving yourself parameters on your calendar where you're like, all right, I have 2 hours to work on this person's task. And then you turn off your phone notifications, or better yet, you put your phone in a different part of the house. You turn off your email notifications, you close the office door if you're working at a home office, and you really limit yourself to no distractions. This kind of deep work makes you a better person. It makes you more productive. It makes you feel like you got more done, and it makes you feel less tired. So deep work is definitely something that I recommend everyone look into and employ for your own client tasks. I think we're almost done here. Yes, we are. Last but not least, one of the more common challenges that VAs have is managing communications. So we've talked about this a little bit. We've touched base on different parts of communication, and I mentioned earlier that one of the biggest fallouts for a lot of virtual assistants is not being over communicative. So there are a couple more things I suggest if you really want to make sure that you're communicating well with your client, and that is to agree upon one channel of communication. One channel could be via email, it could be weekly video chats, it could be weekly phone calls, it could be WhatsApp messages. Whatever it is that you guys decide, it's really helpful if you encourage your client to send you tasks through that one channel of communication. True story, I have had clients before who have sent me emails, texts, WhatsApps, and Twitter DMs for different tasks. And it was the hardest client I've ever had to manage. That's because I would normally do the tasks that they assigned to me on email, and once in a blue moon, I would get a WhatsApp message. I don't check WhatsApp that often, so more often than not, I was missing some of his task requests. So we constantly had to have meetings where I would re-emphasize that one channel of communication was best so that I did not miss their tasks. And you always want to put that in the client's best interest. Responding within a 2-hour window, that's just my kind of rule of thumb, but I do recommend that you try to be responsive, even if you can't get to a task in time. It just helps put clients' mind at ease. Regular check-ins are always a good idea with clients too. I find that particularly for clients that are super busy or maybe are not the best delegators, regular, even 15-minute phone check-ins is great for a variety of reasons. Number one, it really forces your client to focus on what they're working on right now and what they need your assistance with right now. Number two, oftentimes clients are so busy that they don't have time to sit and send out 20 emails to you. It can help these types of busy people if you're like, what are you working on right now? What are your biggest struggles? What's going on in your life? Just get them talking. I have one client who's such a bad delegator that she'll often say to me, I don't have any tasks for you. That all changed when I suggested a 15-minute weekly phone call. Now when we get on the phone, I'm like, what's up? What's going on in your life? She'll rattle off 20 different things that she's doing, and I will take a running list of notes where at the end of the call, I will say things like, okay, I hear that you need help with this, this, and this. I'm going to take these things off your plate. And she's super happy. She's super happy because she didn't have to sit down and think through things that she could delegate. Instead, I'm taking these things from her. So she feels validated. I feel validated. It's a great way to make clients feel like you're a priority in their life. And last but not least, email is often people's preferred channel of communication. Emails can often be overwhelming if you're not making really clear, short, concise emails. So I highly recommend that if you are emailing back and forth with clients, that you are using bold text, that you are using bullet points for important things that they need to see or address or answer for you. The more clear you can make an email, like if your client were to open your email and just be able to skim it, that's a better email than you writing 14 paragraphs and a long story about what's going on today or what you need from them. So short and sweet, concise, easy to read. You want to be not a hindrance. You don't want to create more work for your clients. And if you're writing long, drawn out emails, that's just creating more work for them. You want to be the virtual assistant who takes work off of their plate. So being communicative also, it's a skill and it's a learned skill. So this kind of written communication can be learned. And it's definitely something that I recommend a lot of virtual assistants look into. So we've reached the end of my presentation. This is probably one of the first months that no one has hopped on with me live, which is totally fine. So I'm going to repost this video to the VA Insiders. If you have questions about any of the content that I've asked, or you have questions unrelated to the presentation but about your business, put them in the description box below this video and I will respond to them. Thank you guys so much for watching this month's video. It was a nice long one. Hopefully you have some helpful takeaways that will help your own business. And of course, I'm here for you if you have any questions whatsoever. Thank you guys so much. Catch you on next month's live.